Since I just finished watching a Rick Dalton fucking film festival, I think I know who you are. Put it there.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Schwartz, and thank you for taking an interest.
Schwartz.
What's up? What's up, beautiful people? Back at it again, live with Vinny The Guido, Long Island, Ruff Ryders chapter. Welcome, Vinny. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for coming out. What's going on?
When you hit me up, I shared it right away. Let everybody know I was going to be live at 10. So, you know.
Yeah. For everybody watching, man, like, subscribe, share, and because we're going to be putting some really good information out for all the veterans in the veterans community, active duty military soldiers, and anybody who's dealing with any kind of, like, even if you're not active or a veteran, you might be dealing with some kind of mental health or suicidal things that we can help you with and get you the right information and get you the help you need. And we thank you, Vinny. Hey, let's go.
Thank you for having me on, man. This is a very important topic, you know. So, and it's dear to my heart because I've had a lot of friends and family who have died, and they were in the military too, and a lot of them they died because of certain diseases that they got when they were overseas and all this shit, and how the government didn't help them and shit. And I'm kind of pissed off at our government right now because, you know, they're not taking care of the military, and they really should, because they're the ones that are putting their lives on the line for our freedoms. So, you know, it's a topic at heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So many times every day, our veterans and active duty are putting their lives at risk. And when they come home from war, and even they're just not given the care that they need.
What people don't understand is PTSD is very real, and there's a lot of suicides because of it. And you know, it just sucks that there should be more done for the military, and it just breaks my heart, man.
Well, that's what we're doing here. That's why we're advocating now for these veterans and stuff who and these active duty soldiers who can't do this. They can't advocate because they're busy being a soldier 24 hours a day, or they're busy being a veteran 24 hours a day, and they don't have time to advocate. You know, they're going through mental health issues, but they don't have time to fight that demon, to handle that battle. So we're here to handle that battle for them. That's our MOS, suicide prevention. That's what we do here. We're at work 24 hours a day, 365, doing suicide prevention for all veterans and active duty. So,
and dude, you're an Atlantic City native, man. So that's like my second home over there. I love Atlantic City, man. That's like that. Those are my people over there, you know.
Well, hey, Atlantic City, you will get lucky there. If you play the blackjack table.
I'm a professional gambler. I do it for a living, so you know. Yeah, I'm there a lot. So yeah.
What's your game? What do you like, roulette or?
I have a listen. Here's the thing: when it comes to being a professional gambler, you have to understand that no matter what your strategy is, the casino is always going to have an advantage over you, no matter what. I don't want to hear that you have a system that can beat the casino, because right there you fucking lost. So, but if you're really good at math, you have patience and discipline, you have a good shot at making money doing this. And the thing is that, you know, you just have to know what comps to take advantage of and which ones to stay away from. Like the free alcohol. It's not free. You're paying for it through gambling, and they're giving it to you so it could fuck up your judgment, so you can end up spending more money than you planned on spending. So you should never, ever, ever, ever drink before or during gambling, ever. That's a bad idea. Bad idea. But you know, I have systems that can lower the house edge, but the house is still going to have an advantage of me. It's just not going to be like an 89 or 90% advantage. It's going to be like maybe like a 60 to 65 advantage, 60 to 65% advantage. You know what I mean? So I have a system. I have a system with roulette. I have a system with craps. Of course, the people at the craps table don't like me very much because I look for the cold tables, not the hot tables. And I always bet on don't pass, so I get a lot of dirty looks all the time and people bitching. But but you know, I play. You know, I have a system with craps. I have a system with roulette. I have a system with the ultimate Texas Hold'em against the dealer, and I have a system obviously with blackjack. And I don't, even though I know how to card count, I don't do it because if they catch me doing it, they could ban me from all their properties. So it's not illegal to card count, but it is frowned upon amongst the casino community. So, you know, if they catch you card counting, they can ban you from all their properties, which I don't want to be in that little black book with Al Capone. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
that little black book is very real. So
hey, you'll be going in there like Ocean's 11, huh?
Yeah. But I do have a system with blackjack where every time I lose, I double the bet, and I play basic strategy blackjack. So I don't card count, but I do double the bet every time I lose. So when I do win, I get it all back, plus the original minimum bet that I laid out. So I have a system with that also, and it's not card counting, folks, because even though I do know how to do it, I do not do it. So just in case there's any casinos watching right now, I want you to know I do not card count, so fuck you if you think I am. So now there are times that they will, you know, sometimes the pit bosses will try to cool me off, but I tell them I ain't card counting, so fuck you.
Yeah, right back at you. To anybody, the casinos watching, my boy ain't card counting. So
that's right. Yeah. Well, what games do you play when you gamble?
Man, you know what? I like to bet small bet. You know, maybe like a $5 bet. Yeah. And if I lose, I go to double it up. I'll bet 10. If I lose 10, I bet 20. If I lose 20, I bet 40. If I lose 40, I bet 80. If I lose 80, I bet 160. If I lose 160,
that's how you do it. That's exactly how you do it. It's called the martingale or the something gale system or something like that. But yeah, that's basically it. And you have to have a bankroll because you have to be able to cover your losses because you could lose 20 times in a fucking row, debating on how the dip is.
Yeah, without seeing it come. But
as long as you do that and you play basic strategy, you know, because like when you go, like let's say you're in Las Vegas, you could easily get one of those cards that tell you basic strategy blackjack. Now, if you play that to a T and you play that system where you double the bet every time you lose, you have a good shot at walking out with money.
A better shot, probably about like what, a 70% chance or what?
Yeah, well, for example, like I usually start with 25, so $25, and then if I lose, I double it to 50, and then if I lose, I double it to 100, and if I lose, but you have to go there with a bankroll if you're going to play that system, because
at least a K or 2K to roll it out.
If you play that system without a bankroll, then you're going to go broke fucking fast. So you got to have that. Because you got to think of it. How does casinos do it? They pay $1 million fucking jackpots like it's fucking nothing, and they don't give a fuck because they make billions. So the casinos are able to cover their losses because bankroll that they don't lose. The reason why the house always wins is because they have a bankroll, and the odds favor them.
They can take as many bets that they need. Yeah.
So it's like, for example, when I play roulette, I basically cover all the numbers except for like 3 numbers on a European roulette wheel. Now, for those that don't know, a European roulette wheel only has 1 0 on it. A regular roulette wheel, which is a U.S. roulette wheel, has 0 and 00. And then in Vegas, Vegas is the worst because Vegas now has, get this, they have 0, 00, and 000 now. So if you find a table, if you find a roulette table like that, stay away. Do not play it. In fact, they even have blackjack tables that have 6-5 odds on a blackjack. Stay away from that. I don't care if it's the only thing around. Do not play it because it does not favor you at all. Like, people think 6-5 would be good because the number's higher. No, you end up losing more money on a blackjack than if you were to play a regular 3-2 blackjack. Never ever play 6-5 odds blackjack. Only play 3-2 odds blackjack. Only. Anything else, do not play it. So that's just advice if you're going to be gambling. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
So,
What do you think? Yeah. What do you think about the roulette table? A lot of people are doing roulettes, man.
Well, a lot of people. The reason why it's
the slot machines.
Well, I'll tell you the reason why roulette is so popular is because it doesn't require any skill, really. It's a ball going around, just like a slot machine. A roulette, you can't control anything. There's no dice. There's no cards. It's just basically, it's a ball going around a fucking thing, landing on a random fucking number. And, you know, so when you see, you ever notice when you had a roulette table, it's got the fucking thing where it tells you what the latest numbers were that were hitting shit.
Mm-hmm.
That means absolutely nothing, because every time that ball goes around the wheel, it's going to land on another random number. It doesn't matter. You could hit the same number twice. It doesn't matter. It's going to land on a number randomly, just like all the balls before that. Just like all the spins before that, it's going to land on a random number. So that thing right there is to basically make you think that there's a strategy, but there's no strategy. It's a ball going around a fucking wheel and it's landing on a number. It's the same every time it spins, it's going to land on a random number. There's no predicting it. Unless you're cheating, there's no predicting it at all. Like, there's none. It's like a slot machine. A slot machine has a chip inside that fucking slot machine. And it's called the random number generator. And everybody, and it's so funny because I always come across people that are slot players and they're like, oh, I have a system with a slot machine. There's no such fucking thing as a system on a slot machine. None.
If
whatsoever.
they sink enough money into it, what do you think?
The odds of winning on a slot machine, they have percentages on the chip that'll, like, it's better to gamble on a slot machine that has like a 97% cash back or some shit like that.
Now, what if the guy next to you spent $5,000 in the slot machine and walked off because he wasn't a winner? Would you jump on that slot machine?
No, because it's just like every other slot machine. It's random. It doesn't matter. It does, like, you just have to be lucky to hit the button
one time
at the time that it lands on it and just get lucky. There is no skill involved at all. It's, you know, everyone, and there's been so many times I've seen people get pissed off over, they think that, like, for example, what you just mentioned, let's say you spend $5,000 and you don't win. Then somebody sits down after you and all of a sudden they fucking win.
They win with one coin.
That doesn't mean you would have hit that, because you probably would have hit the button at a different time anyway. So It just so happens they happen to sit down and they hit the button at the precise moment. But that doesn't mean you would have hit that, because as soon as you hit that button, it stops. And that random number generator on that little tiny chip inside the fucking slot machine, it spins out like billions of times per second. So you just have to hit it at the right time. So I can't even tell you how stupid some gamblers are, because they just don't understand how it works. I studied everything on how casinos operate. I studied on what to take advantage of, what not to take advantage of. I studied different theories on I test out different strategies for free online when you gamble for free online, where you're not
right.
You test out different strategies. And then when I find something that works, then I test it out in the casino. And I'll start small and I'll see if it really works. And if it really works, then I bump up the bets tremendously. So
what about 21? You like 21?
No, regular blackjack. All the other ones are sucker bets and shit. And the reason why the Spanish 21 shit is the biggest bullshit of all, because they're taking out, for example, if you are a card count or anybody who knows anything about card counting, all it is a positive and negative. For every high card, for every high card that comes out is negative, and for every low card comes out is positive. So you just have to be really good at math. You have to know how many cards are on the shoe, and you know how many decks are in the shoe, and how many cards are in the deck, and shit like that. And it's just a positive or negative. Like I said, for every high card that comes out, that means you bet smaller because that means there's less high cards in the deck. The problem with
feel the deck. You just gotta feel the deck when you're playing. You know, you gotta you can't count them all, but you can see a couple cards if they came out already. You know, a couple queens or a couple jacks.
You just know if you see a lot of high cards come out, and just bet small because that means there's less high cards in the deck. But the thing is, with Spanish 21, they take out a lot of the high cards. So that means there is even less high cards in the fucking deck. So you have even a harder chance of hitting 21. So you should never gamble on Spanish 21 ever.
Yeah, but some of the tables, man, when they have a lot of clients, does that mess up your betting? When you're elbow to elbow, there's a lot of big crowd out there.
Believe it or not, it's actually better to bet. It's better to play with more people at the table because that means if you're somebody who has one of those player reward cards, right? You know, you sign up for free and they give you a card, and you want to play with a lot of people at the table because what the casino does is that it's basically tracking how much you're betting and how long you're playing for. So the more people that are at the table, the longer it's going to take for them to get to you, which means you're still betting the same amount of money, but and they're just tracking how long you're at the table. It doesn't matter whether there's one person or five people. Like, it's better to bet with more people at the table because it's going to benefit you in the long run when it comes to the comps. So
nice. Yeah.
If you see only one person playing, you don't really want to play because it's going to go by quicker, and then you're going to end up spending more money faster that way. If you end up burning less money when there's more people at the table.
And you can enjoy a little conversation. Yeah. So it's a lot better. Yeah, I think a busier table can be better, a lot more fun.
And did you ever notice when you go to a casino that the parking garage is all the way over there, and the check into the hotel is all the way over there? They do that on purpose. So when you're coming to the casino and you need to check into the hotel, you have to walk past all those slot machines just to get to the fucking hotel counter. And when you check out, you have to walk past all those slot machines again just to get to the car. So they do that on purpose because they want you to stop at a machine on the way going and coming. So everything in a casino is designed to take your money. Understand that.
Yeah.
When they give you emails or mailers in the mails saying, "Oh, you can get this free gift and this comped room," it's to get you to come there. It's not free. You're paying for it through gambling because they know in the long run they're going to take your money. It'll be cheaper to buy it in a fucking store than it would be to fucking collect it for free at a casino. Because they know when you come to the casino, you're not just going there to get the gift and leaving. They know you're going to gamble, and they know they're going to take your money in the long run.
You're better off, just get in the room. Go straight to the room, get your bottle.
The bottom line is a casino is not going to give you anything unless it benefits them.
Exactly.
You just got to know what to take advantage of and what to stay away from. That's all.
And then when the drinks are flowing, they compromise stuff at that point.
They want to fuck up your judgment. That's why you should never drink while gambling. It's a bad idea.
Because you're doubling up, and then boom, a couple of drinks, and now you're tripling up, and you're like, all right, let me just go ahead and drop all my money down at one time.
Yep. Believe it or not, and you could probably look this up actually if you Google search it. But a millionaire tried suing the casino. I forget which casino he tried suing, but he tried suing the casino because He lost millions of dollars to them. And he tried to sue them because he feels like they liquored him up so he could, because for him to spend more money, which is true. But he tried to say that's the reason why he lost. But what the judge said was, the judge said to him, well, did they force you to drink or did you choose to drink? Did you put the alcohol? Did you put the alcohol in your mouth or did they shove it in your throat? Oh, you said yes to it, and guess what? It's your fault. You lost the money, and he lost in court. Not only did he lose in court, but he lost millions of dollars because he drank while gambling. So,
yeah, wrong answer. Yeah, you want
to? There was this drunk guy that was sitting next to me one day at the table, and he was like 65,000 in the fucking hole. And he was still gambling and he was drunk off his ass. I'm like, dude, you got to stop. Dude, I was trying to get him to stop, but he just wouldn't. And I see it all the time where, dude, this guy went to the ATM like at least 3 or 4 times and he took out fucking loans like a motherfucker. And I actually watched him and I tried to prevent it as much as possible, but he just wouldn't listen. And the guy, God knows he's probably going to owe the bookie money and he's probably going to end up dead, which I'm hoping doesn't happen. But this guy told me he lost his rent money. He lost his house money. You know, like he lost his house. He lost the boat. He lost this. He lost that. He lost his wife. He said he was so much in the hole, it wasn't even funny. So it's a sickness. It's an illness. It literally is a mental illness with that too. So.
And that can cause suicide right there. What do you think?
Oh, it happens all the time.
That could cause somebody to go jump off you go to the casino and lose all your money. I mean, you can't tell your wife you can't pay the house payment or the car payment and the savings account's gone.
Dude, I remember the Borgata. Somebody broke the hotel window and jumped out because everybody knows in a casino that the windows don't open. For that reason, because the suicides, they don't want people jumping out. This motherfucker broke the window and jumped out. I'm telling you, look it up. If you Google search it, it happens so frequently of people breaking the windows and jumping out. Like it's not, like dude, like it's I'm telling you, it's a mind fuck. It really fucks with you, man.
Because they're temporarily insane at the moment. If you lose everything you got, that's got to put you like out of your mind, like you know what I mean? A temporarily like in an insanity situation. Yeah, they should have like where they can take them to the hospital or something. If you lose everything, hey, get this guy over here to the hospital.
And what pisses me off is that these casinos, like, they have it in very small print by law. They have it in very small print that if you have a gambling problem, call the number on there or whatever. But if they really gave a shit about people, they would have it in big print and they would try to stop gamblers from making bad decisions. And they don't. They just don't. They don't give a shit. They don't care that they ruin lives and shit. They don't care. They don't.
So you think there should be a limit, like, okay, a casino can only take so much dollars from you, like within a day, a week. What do you think?
That would be nice. It would be nice, but they would never do it.
So you think it's just fair game? They can just take as much money from their customers.
And the government don't give a fuck because they win. They win in the end. Let me explain something. The only true winner is the government, because they'll tax you if you win. And if you lose, they'll tax the casino. They get their money no matter what, the government.
They just want you to play. They don't care who wins.
They don't care if you win or lose, the government, because they're the true winners. Because like I said, if you win, they tax you. And if you lose, they tax the casino. So no matter what, the casino's going to get their money. And
the casino's probably paying more in tax too.
Yeah, no matter what, the government's going to get their money. Uncle Sam is going to get their money. You know what I mean? So,
I know you mean, absolutely.
And that brings me to my next point, the true reason why we're here right now. You know, I love our country and I love our military and I love everybody in our country. The only thing I hate is our government. I hate our government. let me just say something, and I know it's gonna piss a lot of people off that's listening right now, but I don't give a fuck. This is truth. This is God's honest truth. I do not vote at all, unless it's for the only time I'll vote is for the school budget for the kids. That's it. Right. And even then, my vote don't mean shit. I can guarantee you that. Our votes don't mean shit anyway, because the electoral vote is worth more than our vote.
Right.
So let me get this straight. Let's get this straight. Let's get this one thing straight. For example, let's just say you vote for Hillary, but the electoral votes, let's say everybody votes for Hillary, right?
Right, right.
But the electoral votes wants Trump. Trump's going to go in because that's what the electoral vote wanted. And let's say your whole state votes for Trump, but the electoral vote says Hillary. Hillary's going to go in. It doesn't matter what our vote is. It's the electoral vote that really matters. So that's just it right there. So I'm not going to waste my time voting just for that reason alone. Another reason I don't.
What about the mail-in votes? The mail-in votes work, right? That's legit.
No, it's the same shit. Bro, the electoral vote is worth more than a citizen's vote. So
you never voted your whole life. You never voted.
When I was young and I didn't know any better, yes, I did.
Right.
But to me,
so you didn't vote for Biden. You didn't vote for none of that. Nope. So you don't believe in politics. They're all fake. They're all fake.
Let me tell you something. All politicians, all of them, are full of shit. They're full of shit. They're all the same. They are all the same. It doesn't matter if Republican, Democrat, Reform, Green Party, they're all the same. They tell you what you want to hear, and then most of the shit that they promise doesn't even fucking happen. And every time someone new gets elected, more of our rights disappear. You ever notice that shit? Every time someone new gets elected, more and more of our rights disappear.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's Republican, Democrat. They're all the same. They're all full of shit, and they're all crooked motherfuckers. So we are allowed to curse on here, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
so I can say cocksucker, motherfucker, fuck shit, cunt, cock, pussy, and tits, and it's okay, right?
I don't know about that one, but
I'm just checking. I mean, this isn't AM/FM dial, so you know.
No. I mean, it's YouTube, Facebook, but yeah, I mean, I mean, you know, I'm a Christian, so I don't cuss that much. Yeah. But but you can cuss if you have the need to cuss, let it out, you know.
But the bottom line, I'll tell you, the bottom line is that like I said, all politicians are the same, and I find it every time when voting comes around. All you have to do is go on social media and watch everybody bitch back and forth and have these arguments in these chat rooms and comments and shit. And I just sit back and laugh at it. I just sit back and laugh because they're you know, I just find it fucked up because, like I said, the government's crooked. They're crooked. They don't give a shit about the military. They don't give a shit about police. They don't give a shit about their citizens. All they care about is money and how can they fuck us over next. That's basically it. Everything they say on in the media it's because they want you to hear that. It's like, how do I say this? It's just, I mean, I don't watch the news because most of it's all negative shit anyway. It's all negative shit. Yeah. And
somebody getting shot or something, like some kind of always negative news. There's nothing positive.
There's nothing really positive. If there is, it's like 2 minutes at the end of the broadcast, and they sign off, and that's it. But
it's either war or some kind of crime or something. COVID. Yeah.
It's just like I try not to let anything screw up my positive world. You know what I mean? Like, I cut all negativity and all negative people out of my life because I realize I have a much happier life now than I ever did than when I was a negative person. Because I used to be very negative back in the day. And now it's like, I'm all about taking care of the community and doing what the government should be doing. That's why I joined the Ruff Ryders, because we do a lot of community outreach. We try to take care of our community, and we do a lot of like during September or at the end of August, September, we'll do like a school supply drive, and then
nice.
We'll collect a lot of school supplies, and then what we do is we hand it out to the community and stuff like that, to the people that need it. During right now, for example, we're trying to raise jackets and coats and food supply, like canned goods and box food and stuff like that. And we're doing a drive right now for that, so we can hand that out to the community. And then around Thanksgiving time, we'll go to a homeless shelter and we'll hand out food to the homeless people, and we take pictures with them, because a lot of them are Ruff Ryder fans that are in that are homeless in the homeless shelters and stuff. A lot of them like to take pictures with us and ask us advice and stuff like that.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
It's a really good feeling to take care of our homeless people. And you'd be surprised how many vets are in there too. Like it breaks my heart, man. It really does. And then during the holidays, we do a toy drive, and then we hand out toys to the community during the holiday time and stuff like that. So we do a lot of shit. We do a lot of shit the government should be doing. And one thing that pisses me off, and the reason why I say the government don't give a fuck about the military, is because you know how many times I'm in New York City and I see so many homeless vets, and the government does absolutely nothing about it.
They're pumping money into Ukraine, billions and billions of dollars for war.
Dude, we're fighting in wars that we shouldn't even be involved in.
When our own country needs the help,
Yep. And they do nothing. They do nothing for us. I mean,
they're not fixing the problem. They're not fixing the root of the problems.
They're not. They're not. And that's why I said I love our country. I love our people in the country. I love our military. I just don't like the government. I hate the government. And
if the government has the money, they could do free groceries and free housing. I mean, they already do free housing, like HUD Vash. Now there are homeless people who are addicted to drugs and can't live a normal life and have a house, so they're on the streets. So, I mean, there is free housing available.
Yeah.
Food, the only problem, food stamps is a fight that I would fight for, because the amount of money that they're giving for food stamps isn't enough. You're talking $200 for a family of 4. That's not enough money for food stamps. That's where they're ripping us off at. We need more government assistance for food for our citizens. Yeah.
I just don't understand why people would even want to fight for the country, because I mean, me personally, I wouldn't want to fight for a government that doesn't give a shit about me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Dude, I can't even tell you how many times I see, and I asked these homeless vets, I asked them, I said, do you regret fighting for the country now after knowing that the government doesn't give a shit about you? And they said, fuck no. They said they wish they knew now what they knew. They said they wish they knew then what they know now, because they said they would have never have done it, because the reason why a lot of them do it is because they want to fight for our freedoms. But at the same time, the government doesn't give a shit about them. And that's the problem. They don't care. They just don't. Explain to me why there's so many homeless veterans. If they give a shit about the veterans, explain why there's so many homeless veterans out there. It's New York City alone. There's thousands of them.
They're not taken care of. There's no job. There's no jobs in our country. There's no jobs. There's no way to make a living. There's no money.
Let me tell you something. If the government took care of their veterans, there would be no such thing as the Wounded Warriors Project, because the government would be taking care of them instead of us having to do it for ourselves and take care of our. See, we're the ones taking care of our community. The government's not doing it. That's the fucking problem.
There's no jobs. I mean, we really don't have any jobs. We have no jobs. We have low pay, high rent, inflation. Everything's up. Listen, just like the casinos are set up to win, the government's set up to win. And
the government is the one that's set up to win with the casinos. They're the ones that are set up to win in casinos. It's the government that wins every time. So Yeah,
We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to win in life. It's supposed to be difficult. If it was going to be easy, then it could be a little more easy. But
if they really, let me tell you something. If the government really gave a shit about us, they wouldn't have casinos popping up in all these different states now. Before it was only Vegas and Atlantic City. That was it for many, many years. Now all of a sudden there's a casino in pretty much almost every fucking state now.
right.
It's in every fucking state now. They want us to be.
The thing is, though, we say the government, like the government is like this secret society. But the government's just normal people, and that's what I'm saying. Like we're able, if we do vote, if we do get out and vote, we're able to have a voice and make a change in politics.
That's what they want you to think. You don't have a voice. They don't give a fuck. Explain. All right, let me tell you something. All right, the petition things online and shit like that, and like thousands of people sign it. If you get a lot of, let me explain to you how this works. If you get a lot of people to sign your petition, let's say there's like 1 million people that sign a petition, right? That will be interest enough for them to look at, because they're not. You know how many petitions there are? They're not going to look at every single petition. What they'll look at is the petitions that have a shit ton of fucking names on it more than any other fucking petition. They'll look at that. And what they'll do is that'll just get them to look at it. Once they look at it, if it benefits them, then they'll do it. If it doesn't benefit them, the shit's not going to fucking happen. They'll only do it if it benefits them in some way.
But we're saying the government, like it's like this secret society of people. It's like it's a Democrat, it's a Republican, it's all these different politicians who aren't doing their jobs, who aren't passing the right laws.
They're doing their job.
Like when they're in office.
Well, they're doing their job, all right. They're doing their job to fuck us over. That's what they're doing. That's their true job, is to fuck us over. It is what it is. And I just feel bad.
I think even with Biden in office, like some of these guys, they're not getting the stuff done that they're supposed to be. They have a chance. Biden, he's in office. He has a chance to get a lot of stuff done. They're just not fixing the problem. They're making the problem worse and bigger.
Bro, it's been like that since the day I was born. Every single year every time, I'm telling you, every year it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. It never gets better. It's never gotten better in my existence. Ever since I was born, it's been getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, no matter who gets elected.
The deficit, we're trillions and trillions of dollars in deficit, and or maybe even, more than trillions. Is there a number bigger than a trillion? What comes after a trillion?
I don't even know, but it's getting there. It's fucking getting there. Like, listen, let me tell you something. I'm not even, like, I do edibles and shit, and I smoke weed once in a blue moon. All right. But let me listen, I'm not an avid pothead, but I do. But I do take an edible before I go to sleep and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because, that shit will knock you out if you do edibles. You know what I mean? So, but the thing is like,
that's legit. You can do that, right? In New York, right?
Yeah. It's legal now. But here's the thing. It should have always been legal. Because if anybody knows about marijuana, if anybody wants to know about laws of marijuana, many, 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 many years ago, it was legal to smoke marijuana in this country. In the US of A, it was legal to smoke weed until some asshole in the government said, we're not making money off of this, so let's make it illegal. And that's exactly why it became illegal. It has something to do with money. Because
lock you up and make you pay fines.
Yeah. I mean, how many people do you know who ever died from marijuana?
Nobody. I don't know anybody. The worst they do is pass out or go eat a thing of peanut butter and jelly and some chocolate milk.
But you don't. But am I right? You don't know anybody that's ever died from marijuana, right? I mean,
No,
doctors prescribed marijuana. Okay, doctors prescribe marijuana. All right. Now, one thing that blows my mind is how is that illegal, but yet smoking cigarettes and drinking is legal, and that kills Americans every day.
Which is way worse.
And doctors don't even,
like you said, the tax money.
Yeah, and doctors don't prescribe it. Doctors
So
don't prescribe.
the government's willing to let anything roll in our country for tax purposes.
That's right. It's about money. They don't give a fuck about our health. All they care about is the money. That's
they
all
want
they care about.
Money. They want you to make it and spend it, and
they don't care if we live. They don't care if we live. They don't care if we die. They don't give a shit. All they care about is the money. Bottom line, and that's our government for you, folks.
They want that tax
government for you.
Yeah,
and I find it quite funny how now all of a sudden, because they're taxing marijuana, now all of a sudden some states are in the green. Now they're not in debt anymore. For the states that have been doing it, for the states that were doing it for a few years now, a lot of those states are in the green now. They're not in debt anymore. And the only reason why is because they're taxing it now. That's the reason. It's because they're making money off of it. That means it should have been legal years ago, but because they weren't making their money, it was illegal.
Colorado got rich off marijuana, being the first one.
They're not in debt anymore. They're in the green now. That state is making money now.
And now they're legalizing mushrooms and stuff. They're on to the next venture. Because everybody's doing weed, they're like, hey, let's legalize shrooms.
Yeah, but the difference between weed and shrooms is people still die from shrooms, though. That's just it. So yeah. the only drug I know of that people never die from is marijuana. People still die from shrooms, although it is a psychedelic.
They're starting to prescribe. I'm reading articles. They're trying to prescribe shrooms to veterans for PTSD.
Yep. In my opinion, I think it makes
it. They're willing to. Huh? That's worse.
Worse, honestly.
What, giving somebody that's like LSD.
That's making it worse. You're making them trip out on top of their PTSD. You're making them trip out on top of their PTSD. Explain to me how that fucking makes it better.
But some people got it really bad, like worse. Like there's nothing bringing them out of the hole.
If somebody has PTSD, they should be doing flotation therapy. They should be doing isolation tanks. That helps more than anything with PTSD. If you are somebody that suffers from PTSD, you should be in a float tank. Look that shit up, find out where there's a float center in your area and do it. Because to me, that is far better than any LSD thing that you could do. It's better than shrooms. Flotation therapy is the best thing you could do. They're called isolation tanks. They're called float tanks. They're called many things, but it's the same thing. Joe Rogan talks about that on his podcast a lot.
Really? Okay.
Look up flotate. All you do is type in a search engine, Joe Rogan flotation, or look up Joe Rogan isolation tanks or anything like that. I'm sure it'll pop up. You'll see him talking about it.
Right.
He talks about that shit all the time. He's got it. Bro, Joe Rogan has a float tank in his fucking house.
It's legit. It works, huh? Does he got PTSD, Rogan? Or he's got some kind of...
I don't know. No, I think he does it just because he knows of the mental and physical benefits that you can get by doing it.
So break it down. What is a flotation device for everybody watching?
Well, not only does it help you mentally, but it helps you physically too. It helps you heal quicker because there's zero gravity. It's basically...
actually float. You're actually in midair.
Yeah. Basically, it's 11... I'll tell you exactly what it is, actually. It's 11 inches of water saturated in over 1,000 pounds of Epsom salts. So it's like floating in the Dead Sea, or floating in space. Zero gravity. And you just float on the water on your back. The water temperature is the same temperature as your skin. So after you float for about 5 or 10 minutes, it's almost like you don't even feel like you're floating in water. You just feel like you're floating, like in space. Because water temperature is the same temperature as your skin. And it's completely dark. It's completely quiet. It's just you and your thoughts in complete silence and darkness. And is the #1 form of meditation in the world.
So that's what these guys need. The VA, they need to start doing this for the veterans, getting them free flotations.
Let me tell you something. There's a flotation therapy center on Long Island that actually takes care of their veterans and lets the veterans float for free.
Oh, wow. You got to give me that info so we can post that on the next episode. Yeah.
All you got to do is contact them, let them know you're a veteran, and they take care of you.
Nice.
It's either that or they give you and if you want to do it often, I think there's an extreme discount for veterans too. So but it definitely helps. Like if you're especially anything to do with like military, police officers, fire department, anything that's going to give you PTSD, they should all of you should be doing flotation therapy. There's this website. I have the link to it. It's called the Float Tent. It's basically if you want to do floating at home. They make it affordable. Well, it's still expensive, but it's more affordable to do. It's the most affordable float tank that you could possibly get in the world. And it's called the Float Tent. And you could actually have it at your house and you could float whenever you want. But I'll tell you, the upkeep on a float tank
is worse than a tanning booth.
Not only is it expensive, but it's a pain in the ass to do the upkeep on it because you have to keep it sanitary and everything too on top of that. That's why a lot of people go to float centers because they already do it automatically there. All you do is show up there, float, and then come home. So
pay your little money. Yeah.
So, but I mean, obviously in the long run, it'll be more affordable if you have your own float tank. It's just that it takes a lot of work to keep to upkeep it, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I highly, highly, highly suggest pretty much whether you have PTSD or not, I believe all military people should definitely be floating. And it's sad because not a lot of people know about it. But if you notice, it's starting to pop up now in a lot of different states.
How much one of them machines
are popping up now.
Machines?
It's expensive. It's thousands. It's in the thousands.
Oh, okay.
I think the cheapest float tank you could possibly get is maybe about anywhere between. It's probably like $1,600-1,700 is like the cheapest one you can get.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think maybe 2,300 or something like that, 2,300. I don't know, something like that.
Have it more accessible for the veteran.
Yeah, but most of them, I'll tell you, most of them go for anywhere between 6,000 to like even 20,000, depending on the float tank you get.
Okay.
So, I mean, and not only that, but you have to pay for the Epsom salt, which is very expensive. You have to have purified water and shit. You have to have all the fucking all the laser technology that takes out all the fucking it practically zaps away all the fungus and all the algae and shit like that. It keeps it keeps it sanitary and shit, you know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But I highly, highly suggest floating. Definitely. It'll definitely help you with PTSD more than anything else in the world. So it's better than any fucking therapist you'll go to. I'll tell you that. Although therapy does help some people, just doesn't help everybody. Like for me, therapy doesn't work for me. Like,
have you been to a therapist? What did they tell you?
I almost got arrested because I had a disagreement with my therapist because I flipped out. I was like, "You're not fucking helping me. You're making it worse. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit." You know, but
yeah, I know.
I just wish. I honestly wish the government would do more, though. I think it should do more for its people, man. I mean, because it's just not right, man. That's like they don't care if we die. They don't care. They don't care. Like I said before, why is alcohol and tobacco legal to buy over the counter, but marijuana wasn't for years? I just don't understand that. Like, I do understand it's because they're greedy motherfuckers, the government. But, I mean, there's no other answer other than that. It's because the government's greedy. And listen, I understand they're in the hole. They're trillions of dollars in debt, but that's because they screwed up the government.
It's what the people, you know what, though?
Not on us.
The people, it's what the people want. Like, if we had to do a poll, if we went around though everywhere and said, who wants alcohol? Everybody's going to raise their hand. You know, if you went around and said, hey, who wants cigarettes? Everybody's going to say they want it. So the government is giving the people what they want in aspect. Now, look, everybody wants to smoke weed. Now, look, we got weed. Weed's available. Weed's legal. It's
only legal because they figured out a way how to make money off of it, the government. That's the only reason it's legal. Because people have been saying that ever since they stopped, ever since they made it illegal. Yeah. They don't give a shit what the people want. As long as they... You see, the only reason it's legal now is because the government found a way to tax it. That is the only reason it's legal now.
But if the government decided this tomorrow and said, hey, we're banning cigarettes, we're banning alcohol, there would be a riot. What do you think?
Of course there would, because they already gave us the drug and they know we're addicted to it now. That's why.
Or we'd have to go back to the Prohibition era.
People would find a way to do it anyway, but it wouldn't, like, for example, all right, there's sports books popping up everywhere now.
Yeah,
there's casinos in areas that never had gambling that was illegal for years to gamble in those states, and now it's legal. It's because the government found a way to tax it to a point where they can make a fortune. I mean, back in the day, I would rather bet on sports when it was illegal, because. And I'll tell you why, because now it would be dumb to bet on gambling. Yeah, they made it more accessible to gamble for sports now. But now that there's more people gambling, you don't think millionaires are paying off sports stars? That you don't think they're going to pay off sports stars to throw off games and shit? It's going to happen more now than ever. You don't think a millionaire is going to pay a fucking sports celebrity to throw off a game? It's going to happen more now than ever before, now that it's legal everywhere.
Yeah, we would never know. You'd never know.
I don't like betting on stuff I don't have control over. I will never bet on sports ever again. I did years ago when it was illegal, because at least the only time that you could really gamble is if you had an overseas account or some shit like that, or you bet illegally through a bookie or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, number one, the odds were better, and number two, you didn't have, like, people weren't throwing games as often as they're going to do it now. And I guarantee you it is happening now. You just don't know about it yet until they get caught. But I wouldn't gamble on sports now. Not at all. I would never do that.
Now, if I had my favorite team, yeah, I would bet on my favorite team. I would bet on the Eagles right now. They're hot.
You should never bet with your heart. Bet with your brain, not your heart.
I wouldn't bet on the Giants right now. I don't know about the Giants.
Yeah, I tell people, technically the only real New York football team is the Buffalo Bills. They're the only team that practices and plays in New York. The Jets and the Giants. The Jets and the Giants play in Jersey and they practice in Jersey. So why are they called New York? They should be called the New Jersey Jets and the New Jersey Giants.
That's like the Nets.
Yeah. The only real New York football team is the Buffalo Bills. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No. They play in New York. That's it.
I know I'm going to catch a lot of hate for saying that too, but I don't give a shit. People are going to be like, no, they're New York teams. I'm like, nope, sorry, they're not. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Giants and Jets fans that are angry at me right now if they hear this. So.
I don't think they got room for stadiums in the city, to be honest.
No, they were going to build one, West Side Stadium they were going to build, and that fell through. They were going to build one for the Jets, and it was going to be over the West Side. All right, the West Side train yard.
Right.
That was where they were going to have. That was where the plans were to build the stadium for the Jets, and that fell through. Yep. So they had the room for it. They had the plans for it.
You know what?
Eventually,
I think eventually the Jets, just like the Nets. Listen, they used to be New Jersey Nets. They came in, somebody bought them out and moved them to New York.
Actually, technically, the Nets were always they were a New York team first. They were used to be called the Long Island Nets many years ago.
Okay.
Then somebody in Jersey bought the team and they moved to Jersey. Then somebody in Brooklyn bought the Nets and now they're in Brooklyn. But they actually started off in Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum.
Hey, who knows? The Giants could end up in Manhattan, the Manhattan Giants.
I'm telling you, it would have happened with the Jets if the West Side Yard was approved.
Yeah.
If that stadium was approved, they would have had their wish, but never happened. And I never understood why they never put a dome when they built MetLife Stadium in Jersey. They had the opportunity to put a dome on it, and they never did it. They should have domed that motherfucker. They never did. Why they never put a dome on it is beyond me. I think because you get snow and rain here a lot. They should have definitely put a dome on it. Yeah,
but man, that's some gridiron football when you're playing in the cold weather. You know, the snow, stuff like that. I'd rather watch them in the snow playing than all warm and toasty, sitting there drinking their hot chocolates.
Yeah, but even when Yankee Stadium and Citi Field were built, they should have put domes on that. They didn't do that either. I don't know why New York is against domes for. I just don't understand it. I don't know why New York. And the only thing that has a dome on it is where they do the U.S. Open for tennis every year. That's the only thing that's got a dome on it. It boggles my mind why they never put a dome on any of those stadiums. I just don't know why they never did it.
Hey, how long does it take you to get out there to MetLife?
About
they do the Army Navy game there too. You know that, right?
It takes without traffic, I can get there maybe about anywhere between 45 minutes to maybe an hour and a half, depending on traffic.
Yeah, because they do the Army Navy game out there.
Yeah.
If they don't do it there, they do it right there in Philly. But the Army Navy game's always in Jersey or Philly.
They also do Army. The Army and the Navy also goes against the police and the fire department too.
Oh, they have. Is it on the same team? Is the Army Navy on the same team? And they play.
No. They both. They keep playing each other. But
okay, so it'll be Army against police or Navy against
They do stuff like that all the time. Yeah. And it's funny because with boxing, they actually have they call them the smoky boxing event, where the police fight each other in boxing, and they do like the police versus the fire department in boxing and shit like that. Like it's pretty cool to watch the smoky boxing events where the police will fight each other in boxing and shit. I try to support that too.
Yeah.
I had a couple of my friends that fought in the smoky boxing fights and shit.
Oh, nice. Yeah. They got a baseball team too, don't they? I think the fire department in New York City.
I believe so. I definitely know they have football. I'm pretty sure they got baseball too. Yeah.
So they play all the sports. The New York City Fire Department, police, they got a football, baseball, and a boxing league for their officers and fire department.
Yep.
That's cool, man. That's really cool, actually. I think every city should have that, you know.
Well, I know. In Long Island, Suffolk, and Nassau County, they do it too in a way, but it's not as popular as the New York City ones, obviously. But they got it in Long Island too, and they got it in Long Island also.
Well, New York's always starting stuff up the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they like to have a little more fun than everybody else.
Yep.
They're the trendsetters.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. So how long have you been doing podcasting for now?
Well, you know what? 1 year. 1 year now.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Really, just because of COVID and stuff. When COVID happened, it was like a way we could all like talk and get together socially and stuff. So we started doing like virtual podcasts.
Because I meant to ask, how did you come across my page? Was it from one of my wrestling buddies from the wrestling industry?
Yeah. Yep.
It's so funny because I'm a Rough Rider and I work in the pro wrestling industry. I also do acting. I'm an actor as well. I'm a professional gambler. I do a lot of things, man. I keep myself busy.
Let's talk about the wrestling and stuff because I actually wrestled in New Jersey. I have a wrestling background and stuff. And then I've been working with a few different wrestlers and stuff.
Oh, really? No shit. Like WWE kind of wrestling, or kind of like
Paul Roma. Yeah, you heard of Paul Roma?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, Paul's a good man. I like Paul. He's a good dude, man.
Oh, you know Paul?
I met him a few times back in the day. I mean, I haven't seen him in years, but I have him as a friend on social media, but I never ever got to work for him with his wrestling company yet. But I would love to because
he has his own wrestling company.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, my dad used to be really good friends with Chief J Strongbow many years ago, and
right.
I've always been around the wrestling industry as a kid because my dad would always get me backstage and shit because the Chief always got me back there, and so I would always get backstage at the WWE events, and it's funny because a lot of the wrestlers, they told my dad, they said, I could see your son doing this when he gets older, and sure enough, I did, So it's pretty funny because I've had wrestlers come up to me like, I remember you when you were this big and shit, and now you're in the business. I told your dad that you would do it and shit. So it's pretty funny, but yeah, I mean that's how I got into the industry. My dad used to take me to wrestling ever since I was like 5 years old and shit. So I've always been a wrestling fan ever since I was 5, and then I got into the industry.
Nice.
So it's quite funny how because even though I've always been around the industry, always, my whole life.
Well, we Eddie, right?
I know a lot of Eddies. Which one are you talking about?
Eddie with
that narrows it down.
With Sirius Radio.
What happened?
With Sirius Radio. The ham.
Eddie. I might if I've seen a picture of him.
I started doing podcasts with Eddie about 3 years ago. Okay, this is what happened. Okay, I started out with Eddie. He's from Long Island. Okay, I started out. I booked one of the Shamrock guys for his show.
Oh, really? Who, Ken? Ken Shamrock?
No, Frank, his younger brother.
Frank. Oh, okay, yeah, Frank, yeah.
I actually booked him for Eddie's show. This was like 2016, 17. So we're talking a while ago.
That wasn't that long ago for me, but I've been in the industry since 2005, so I've been doing it for quite a while now. So,
and I was working with Eddie, volunteering for his podcast, like helping him out and stuff like that. When
that's cool.
Yeah, when he first kicked off his ham radio, because he works for Sirius Radio, but he has his own ham radio show that he does.
I could probably get you Dan the Beast Severn. I might be able to get you Dan to do the podcast for you.
Who's that, Dan?
Dan the Beast Severn, UFC Hall of Famer, only Triple Crown champion in UFC history.
What? You know him? Let's get him on.
Remember when Ken Shamrock had multiple fights? Ken Shamrock had multiple fights with Dan the Beast Severn. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was back before UFC had all these stupid rules now,
Let's book them. Let's get them on. Us three will all go on.
Because it's funny because he actually, to this day, he still trains military and police how to do. He does seminars with them and teaches them hand-to-hand combat, and he teaches Brazilian jiu-jitsu to the law enforcement and the military. So, he still teaches people. You know, he still does seminars and stuff like that. And being that this is military related, I'm pretty sure he would do the podcast for you.
Yeah, see if he'll jump on with us. We'll get an interview and stuff, and yeah, we'll talk about some veterans issues and stuff. Yeah, that'd be fresh, man. Yeah,
Because like, bro, he works with the military all the time, teaching them hand-to-hand combat and shit. So.
Yeah. We might.
So if there's anybody listening right now, if you would like to book Dan the Beast Severn for like a seminar, let me know.
Contact.
I can hook that up for you.
Let's get him on here. Let's get him on here, man. And then
if you have anybody that's listening that's in the military, if you have anybody that's listening that's law enforcement, contact me and I can arrange for that to happen. I can have Dan the Beast Severn teach you Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, but do they have to come out to Long Island, or can he do like
No. He travels all over the place.
Oh, so he'll come. Yeah. He'll go to them. Yeah. Because I know a couple of guys. They have gyms and stuff like that. They might want to fly this guy out. To go visit the gym.
And if you're like I said, if you own if you work at a karate school or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school or any kind of mixed martial arts school,
that's the guy you want over there. Yeah, teaching.
If you want, he can do seminars for you too. So if anybody owns a mixed martial arts school or anything to do with martial arts, let me know. I can arrange that as well.
Heck yeah, I know a lot. There's probably a lot of people watching that would like to have them come out. Because everybody I talked to on this page here, I got a guy. He's got a gym out in Los Angeles. He used to have a UFC gym, but then he switched his UFC gym to another gym. But even to have him come out and do like promotions for like an opening day, or even to try to have sell some merch or something.
I'll tell you this. They could because if you book them for multiple things, he'll come down on the price a little bit if you're going to book them for multiple things. Like if you want to do like an autograph signing,
right?
If you have him do a seminar, and if you book them for like an appearance or anything like that, if you book it all together, you'll save money that way because he'll do like a combo deal.
Yeah, the show for the kid's birthday.
He'll do. I mean. I'll tell you, he is a pretty penny, but if you do the combos and stuff like that, I mean, you can make your money. I mean, depending on what you charge for it, you can make your money back like that. But it really, like, if you book him for multiple things, he'll come down on his price.
So you said he wrestled the Shamrock.
Oh, he fought Ken Shamrock in UFC.
He fought Ken Shamrock.
Multiple times. Yep. Not too long ago, they were trying to get Bellator to sign off on another fight for them.
Bellator, I like Bellator.
It fell through, but it never went through. But I know Ken and Dan were trying to get Bellator to have them fight again in Bellator. But you know how they do those legend fights there every now and then in Bellator, so.
Right.
I don't know why it never happened, but it should have happened in my opinion. Because I'll tell you right now, Dan the Beast Severn is in his if he was ever in his prime, now is it. That man is in such great shape at his age. He's better than most people 20 years younger than him. His cardio is definitely up there still. It's better than most people younger than him. I shit you not. He is in one of the best shapes of his life, Dan Severn, let me tell you. And
we got to get him on the show.
I'll tell you right now,
get this guy on next week.
My message. Yeah, like I said, my message to Dan, if you're listening, you owe me, motherfucker. I'm putting him over like a fart in church right now. Oh man.
What's his? So he does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Does he do like karate, wrestling,
hand-to-hand combat, all that shit, man?
And hand-to-hand. So we're talking like rear naked chokehold. Like what's his favorite?
Bro, everything. The The man is a genius. The man is a fucking genius.
Arm bars, yeah, all that shit. What's his record? How many KOs? How many KOs does he have?
I mean, I would have to look it up. I don't know it offhand, but
who won between him and Ken?
I'll tell you right now, you don't want to get punched by him, that's for sure. The power he has behind his punches is brutal. Yeah. But yeah, Dan's a good friend of mine. I wish I got to see him more often, but between his schedule and my schedule, it's just always hard to arrange something. But I guarantee you though, if I can get him booked or anywhere around here, I can definitely see him a lot more often. I mean, I got road stories with him. I remember him and I, we were down south. We did some kind of like convention that we did down south. I believe it was South Carolina. No. Wait, it was Wilmington. I think it's South Carolina. Yeah, Wilmington, South Carolina. We did. Or was that North Carolina? I fucking forget. I'm still out of it right now. I didn't get much sleep, so forgive me. But I know I'm going to get hate for that too. But I was down in Wilmington with him, and I remember we did an autograph signing. Oh, check this out. We did an autograph signing at a fucking Walmart.
Wow.
And it's funny because we're sitting at the autograph table, right? We're sitting at the autograph table together, right? And he goes, Vinny, I've always heard all these stories about people in Walmart. He goes, I never thought any of that was true until now. I just started laughing. Because I'll tell you, the things people wear in Walmart is just mind-boggling.
Hey, we should have him come out to one come out there and we'll do a big thing for the vets out there one day. Have him come out.
Yeah. Maybe
for free. Yeah, we'll set it up to do some classes. Maybe we'll have like a lunch and a greet and maybe like an hour class with a bunch of veterans out there in New York. Yeah, maybe we'll set it up in Long Island. We'll do it in Long Island or something.
I would say a seminar should be at least 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, because
how many guys? You think like 50 veterans, or how many should we bring out there? How many?
I don't know. It depends on who signs up for it.
Yeah.
If you could do like maybe like a GoFundMe to try to raise money for it or something like that, then maybe they don't have to pay for the seminar. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it'll be free. I want to set it up so it's free for the veterans. Maybe anybody having like PTSD.
You just gotta find sponsors. The only thing we gotta do is find sponsors and donations to help set that up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if we do that, he'll probably come down on his price too. So I'll talk to Dan. I'll see what we can do.
Yeah, tell him we're gonna try to maybe get some wounded warrior vets out there or some with suicide prevention.
Yeah, I think it'd be great because, like I said, I mean, the reason why there's so many suicides is because a lot of them suffer from PTSD and they have mental breakdowns and they can't take it anymore. A lot of them end up homeless because the government's not doing anything for them, and that's why they kill themselves. It's just, if it's not PTSD, it's because they're homeless, one or the other, and maybe it's both on some occasions, but I think the government should do something about this, and they're not. To me, it's like, why are people fighting for their country, and the country's not going to do anything for them? The government's not going to do anything for them. It's what really pisses me off.
Exactly.
I feel bad for you because you're in the military, man. It's like, what's going to happen when you come out? Is the government going to do anything for you? No, they're not. They're not going to give a shit.
No. I'm out. I'm out now.
Oh, right.
I'm out. Yeah, but they're still. I mean, it's almost a self-help thing. You know what I mean? There is help available. but can they get there and get the help that they need? You know, it's not accessible. We don't have enough boots on the ground in New York City helping the homeless veterans.
Bro, they should have, the government should set it up where they get free transportation to the facility.
Exactly. Or they have vans.
They should have free scat bus for military to be able to go to these appointments.
And picking these guys up, and mobile emergency kits where they do dental, vision, food, shelter, and medical stuff, and they get them all linked up with the VA and stuff. Mobile emergency vans in the cities that travel, because a lot of these guys, like the homeless ones, they can't get to the VA. They can't get over there. They don't have the money for a bus ticket, or they can't. They probably, they're stuck in a tent on the side of the road. So
it's not right, man. It's just not right. I'm really hoping the government's listening to this right now, because you need to do better. You need to do better. You need to take care of our people, man. You need to take care of our vets. You need to take care of our law enforcement and our fire department people. You need to start giving a shit. I mean, here's the thing, and I'll tell you right now. Do you know that there's more good police officers in the world than there are bad police officers? But all you see in the media is the bad police officers. There's more peaceful protesters than there are rioters. All you see in the media is the rioters. The government is trying to divide and conquer. They want us to kill police so they can go after our gun rights. They want us to defund the police so they can claim martial law. And for those who don't know what martial law is, basically, if martial law happens, you basically lose all of your rights. You have no rights anymore. So they want you to defund the police, because if the police don't work anymore, the military steps in to do the bidding for the government. And guess what? At that moment, we become a communist country. The writing is on the wall, people. Open your fucking eyes and ears. The government, I'm telling you right now, that the government is trying to divide and conquer. They want to take away our gun rights.
Well, true. You know what'll happen? Well, you know what? The same thing that's happening. Look, Russia is taking over Ukraine right now, but the people are okay with it. They're giving up their cities.
People need to.
We could be Canada. This whole country could be Canada. What if Canada starts throwing out better deals?
Canada is more of a free country than we are. Let me tell you something. A homeless person, all right, has benefits in Canada. A hard-working man and woman in the United States ain't got shit. Explain to me that problem. All right? A hard-working man and woman in the United States ain't got shit. But yet everybody in Canada has benefits. Everybody, including a homeless person. Everybody. A hardworking man and woman, benefits. Free health care in Canada for everybody. And when was the last time you seen a Canadian at war?
They're all doing good out there in Canada, yeah.
They're more of a free country than we are. Slowly but surely, we're becoming a communist country, and it makes me sick. It makes me sick to see that we're losing our rights left and right. And I'll tell you, people, you want to blame the government for that? No. It's your fault why we're losing our rights, because 78% of Americans do not know what their rights are. That's the problem. Start learning your constitutional rights, people. Start learning that. Because I guarantee you, law enforcement won't try to violate your rights if you're aware of it.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Hopefully something can change soon. Hopefully it gets better before it gets any worse. And we're gonna find out real fast, because
I'll tell you though, I've had my fair share. Listen, I've met a lot of police in my time. Most of the police I meet are good cops. They're very good cops. But I've also come across some bad cops, some crooked cops. I've come across them. But you know what? I'm not going to blame all of law enforcement because of a few bad actors. I'm not. There's more good police than there is bad. But, and yes, all you see in the media is the bad. They're not going to show the good ones in the media. They're going to show you the bad ones.
They're not going to show you the officer who's picking up the guy who's been walking to work every week because he doesn't have a car. You know, they're not going to show you the guy.
But here's the thing. I don't mean to cut you up, but here's the thing. In a nutshell, here's the thing. Is there bad and crooked cops out there? Yeah, there is. I'm not going to lie. There is. There's crooked cops out there. But no matter what you do, no matter what job you do in life, you're going to have good people and you're going to have bad people. And you can't blame all the good people because of what a few bad people did. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, it's like saying that it's like the stereotypes. I'm Italian, so people automatically assume I'm either a drug dealer or I'm in the mafia just because I'm Italian. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yes, I play to the stereotype. My wrestling character, I play an Italian, I play a stereotypical Italian guy in pro wrestling. And every time I'm either in a movie or a web series, I'm either a pimp or I'm in the mafia. And I'm always the bad guy. I'm always the bad guy in everything I do. I always have to be the bad guy. I can never be the good guy in anything. But I mean, like I said, I mean, just because let's say I have a brother, and let's say he fucks up a lot. That doesn't mean because I'm related to him that I fuck up.
No.
I did fuck up, I'm not gonna lie. But listen, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because somebody else does something doesn't mean we all do it.
Right.
Just because a bad cop does something doesn't mean they all do it.
Right.
And understand, all you see in the media is the bad. You don't see the good. And the same thing, like I said, there's more peaceful protesters than there are rioters. But all you see is the rioter. To me, that's the problem, is our government. They want us to fucking kill each other. They want us to. They want us to. And because, and we're stupid, we let them do this shit. We let the government win. Having us wear masks and shit, let me tell you something. Those throwaway masks that they made us wear and shit never did shit. It doesn't stop you from getting it. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't stop you from getting it. It doesn't stop you from spreading it. It doesn't.
No.
They just wanted, the government just wanted to see how many people in this country are sheep. They want to see how many people are going to listen to it. Because guess what? We have the First Amendment, people. They can't tell us what to wear and what to. They can't tell us what to think. They can't tell it. They cannot stop us from our speech. They can't stop us from what we wear. They can't stop. But guess what? They tried to, and they did. People were stupid enough to listen. They were stupid enough. They're like, oh, well, the government says we have to wear it, then we have to wear it. No, bullshit. You could challenge the government because that's against your constitutional rights. They can't force you to fucking wear a mask. They can't. It's against the First Amendment. And if you're here's the thing, when you're in the military, I have a question. When you joined the military, did you not have to swear an oath to protect the Constitution above all else? Did you not have to swear an oath to that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you know that anybody in government has to swear upon that same oath? Did you know law enforcement has to swear upon that same oath? Here's the problem. They don't learn about our constitutional rights in police academy. And yet they make police officers swear on something they know nothing about. I can't tell you how many police officers I went up to and I asked them, you know the First Amendment?
Right.
The first thing they say is, well, if most of the time they say "fuck you" and "get away from me" and shit, but for the ones that do answer me, they answer me freedom of speech.
Oh.
I told them, I said, do you know that that's only one of the First Amendment? There's 5 parts to the First Amendment.
Right.
Do you know most people don't even know anything about that? They don't know. A lot of people don't know the First Amendment. You have the right to assemble. You have the right to free speech. You have the freedom of the press. I mean, these are things that people should know about, and they don't.
Vinny, you know what? I love your conversation. I think, man, that I want to do like maybe every couple of days. I say we go live. Every couple of days.
I'll tell you, I'm not gonna lie, I have a very busy schedule.
Okay. When you're available,
I might be able to do it like once every couple of months, but we could do a part 2. We could definitely do a part 2.
Let's get together. Let's get together and do another series when you're available, as soon as possible. Because I want to continue this, because you got a lot of really good information, and I want the people to hear everything you got to say. And
I want to teach people what their rights are. I definitely want to teach people what their rights are. People need to learn their rights. They need to learn. The Second Amendment, obviously, the right to bear arms. You know what I mean? I mean, the Fourth Amendment is illegal search and seizure. The Fifth Amendment, is the most important. The right to shut the fuck up. The right to keep your mouth shut. You know, you have the right. The Fifth Amendment is the right to remain silent. One of the most important parts of our constitutional rights. Not only do you have the right to keep your mouth shut, like most people think that, oh yeah, well, because I can't even tell you how many times I told law enforcement, I plead the Fifth. I'm not answering any of your questions. They're like, oh well, you're not being arrested. I'm like, I know that, but I have that right all the time, not just while being arrested.
Right.
I'm not gonna incriminate myself by talking to law enforcement. You should never talk to law enforcement. It's only gonna jam you up.
Well, for everybody watching, this is Vinny The Guido. Hey, Vinny, we love you, Vinny. And let
me just give a shout out to my all of my Ruff Ryder family around the world. I want to give a big shout out to my Long Island Ruff Ryder chapter. I love you. Give a shout out if anybody wants to hit me up. It's facebook.com/official Vinny The Guido. It's instagram.com/Vinny The Guido. Twitter.com/Vinny The Guido. Those are the easiest ways to get a hold of me. But I'm mostly on Facebook a lot, and I'm mostly on Instagram more than anything. I'm hardly on Twitter. I have Snapchat and everything, but I'm hardly ever on any of that shit. So you'll find me mostly on Facebook and Instagram.
Much love and respect.
Much love, yo. Thank you for having me on, brother. I look forward to part 2. Ruff Ryders?
Yeah, I'll post your IG and your Facebook on there.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate this, man. Thank you. Ciao, folks.
Let's do it again, brother.
Definitely will.
Ciao. Peace.
Ciao.
All right, brother.